Welcome to episode 5 of Min Inbox. I'm Andrew. I'm here with Jimmy.
Hello.
And Magic Mike.
Hello.
Magic Mike.
Yeah.
Nice one.
No hands.
Look, man, no hands. So, we went fishing.
Yeah.
Caught fish.
That was awesome.
Proper
fish. You guys caught fish.
Yeah.
But I was thinking when I was rewatching the video that maybe if I hadn't have spent the whole time taking photos and video, that I might have caught fish.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
Because do you get a video of every single fish?
No, there were a couple that escaped the video, particularly the like the flathead and stuff. I didn't actually get on video.
The flathead
oh no,
was
I
on?
did.
Yeah.
The flathead was on the video. No, but there were a few fish because there was at one point where there was too many coming in. I couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but but for me, as I've always say, I don't give a fuck. I'm just happy to be out there.
Yeah, totally.
You were courteous though when we had all the rods, all just in the water, sort of, in the rod holders. You were pretty, courteous to the other guys to let them have a go once the fish is on it.
Yeah, I just, for me, I just really enjoy that it's an opportunity to hang out with the boys and to get outside and in an unusual environment and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really give that much of a fuck about actually catching fish because I don't need them. It's not like we're hunting for our own survival or anything. So
when we're heading out next? Who's up for a
probably
tinny ride.
a tinny ride I can do not this weekend but next weekend. This weekend I've got to go to Newcastle, but I'm up for a tinny ride.
Sweet.
Yeah. I'm up.
And financially, I would say that we should book something maybe 3 months out with old mate to give the guys time to get some shit together.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you think? What was his name?
Scotty Lyons.
Scotty. What did you think of Scotty?
I thought he was great. Yeah, really good.
So did I. I was super impressed.
And he knew his shit. He knows.
He knew his shit. He was dead smack on time. He was prepped.
Yep.
He was, I would say, generous in the sense that he was 100% focused on us catching something.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that was the best possible scenario for me.
Yeah.
With a dude and a boat like that. Yeah, I was super, I can't even put into words how super impressed I was with him and his operation and the fact he was cool with us smoking and, all sorts of carry on as long as no one complained. He was cool with it and yeah. I was really happy. I thought it was great.
Yeah, it's a pretty awesome time. Deep sea next time.
Yeah, and that boat would be cool.
Yeah, that's an awesome boat.
Yeah.
Perfect for the fish action.
Super practical.
Yeah.
Easy to get around, comfortable. It was a bit cold and windy when we were coming back in, but it would have been the same on any boat.
Yeah.
I think in that weather. So, now, did you guys listen to the snippets of audio that I
did.
sent?
Yep.
Did you,
Yeah,
Mike?
I did.
Trick with the net too, guys. The guy who's on the net, you wait for the angler. You never put the net under the water.
Yep.
You put the net under the water, the fish sees it and keeps swimming away from it.
Yeah,
So
right.
you stand there with the net until the fish is right on the surface, so the angler's played him out so he comes up and lays on top, and you come in, one scoop, head first.
So that first clip, I think, really, I picked that one out because, I was talking to Jason afterwards, during the week.
Yeah.
And we were chatting that one of the things I was impressed about is how much I learnt on that trip, the techniques and stuff. And just little things like that net and letting the fish come to the net and not to stick the net in the water and stuff, I thought were like pro tips.
Pro tips.
There was so much information that he was giving out. It was almost like I felt that we were almost on a training run.
Yeah.
That's how it felt like to me, honestly.
And I guess that's because he's used to complete fishing noobs. which is cool. I'd categorise myself in that.
Same.
But I didn't expect that. I expected him just to bait up. I didn't even expect him to bait up. I was expecting him to give us a rod and we just throw it over the side.
Wow.
Were you expecting that, Andy?
Yes. I read his website, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
And on all the fishing forums around Sydney, everyone, says, go to that guy, and everyone, when they go, writes back on the forum and says, yeah, he's really good. Awesome.
Yeah, right. Because I wasn't expecting it, and the thing I have with fishing websites and fishing forums is I just end up looking at the pictures.
Yeah. Because I think that's a difference between a charter and just some guy driving you around in a boat.
Right, well that's what I sort of always thought a charter was.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I've been looking
I didn't expect any of that at all.
Yeah. I've been looking at a lot of fishing stuff on YouTube, and a lot of it's done by charter boat captains and stuff, and they're all fully rigging stuff up beforehand and saying, this is how I rig this and that.
I think I must have learned about 6 or 7 things on that day. Firstly, I think, Mike, we're pretty clear now about what a bait runner's for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it was you, Andy, that I was having that conversation with, where you run the bait, but it's like, well, what for?
Yeah. Yeah, I had no idea what it was for. Some dude up at Autos pretty much told me, yeah, don't worry about it. And he was like the dude who does all their reel repairs and stuff. He's like, yeah, not really worth it.
Well, I could see that it's probably a boat-based technique.
Yeah, very specialist technique.
Yeah.
But it was really handy for doing exactly that.
The other thing that I noticed was with the soft plastic, I could actually feel the bottom.
Yeah.
And that was probably because we were out in the middle of Botany Bay and there wasn't any snags at the bottom.
Yeah, true.
We get that a lot when we're just fishing from shore, particularly when we're on the braided lines. You can feel individual sort of rocks and stuff. But that was mono, so I thought it was a bit less sensitive than the braid. But if you're doing that on the braid, if you're slowly pulling it along, you feel a thing just drop,
especially if you've got a heavy sinker on.
Yeah, you can feel it hit a little ledge or go over a ridge or anything. It's pretty amazing.
I was quite amazed at the small amount of gear that he had compared to the ridiculous amount of gear that we have.
Yeah. He knows exactly what he's going to use.
Equivalent to a 2500 size Plano box. He had minimum amounts of sinkers.
Yeah.
All sorts, but...
Yeah, that's why I took a little bit of footage of his tackle box, because it just blew me away.
Yeah.
And the speed that he had with the
time.
Yeah. Far out, man.
Did you notice what knots he was using, Andy?
Not at the time, but I've watched some of his YouTube things and the uni knots he was doing.
They were pretty quick.
They were quick. It's a different sort of tying style than I have.
He rigged up 5 rods, 6 rods doing 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Probably less.
How long would that take you to do 1 rod from your bag, Mike, until getting it in the water?
9 minutes, 30 seconds.
Okay. That's pretty quick for you.
Pretty fucking long time, man.
You must have been really
honestly, and that's on a good day.
Yeah.
Imagine on a windy day.
Yeah.
That's just the pre-rigs, too.
Yeah. I really liked that my favourite technique was fishing in that burley trail, because I've wanted to work out how to use burley effectively for ages, and that was a really good lesson in that. And that's
how he crunched up that pilchard.
Yeah. And that's when we got 10 trevally.
Wow.
In that.
Yeah, you see, because I was on the camera as well, and I was more interested in his tech.
Yeah.
But you could see that school of trevally swim under the fish on the fish swim under the boat.
Oh, I couldn't see that at all.
The sonar.
Oh, cool.
That he had, the sounder he had, you could see the big ball just go right underneath us.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's why when the ball disappeared off the sonar, that's when he said, time to go.
Oh,
and we moved again.
Oh, wow. I didn't notice that. I didn't know what I was looking at when I was looking at that sonar.
Well, neither did I, which is why I kept looking at it, because I was curious to try and work it out. But also, Mike, you're up the front a lot of the time.
That is true.
Up near the anchor.
It's a good spot.
It was a good spot. You got fish up there.
Yeah.
Alright, let's listen to the second clip.
Okay.
Same thing, we're going to bleed. You see where my thumb is? Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel that? Right. And then we just... That's
Manly.
Come on,
Yeah.
Mike.
So that's how you do it, mate. You don't have to torture them.
Blood coming out now. Look.
Oh, wow.
Right?
That's drink it.
So that's his heart.
So, the bleeding of the fish I found to be quite intimidating. It was a little bit barbaric.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
I'd seen a guy doing that at Giroa, with this dude who caught like 10 salmon, and he made that look civilized. Like, see, he'd do a similar thing, but a big rip, he'd bend the whole head back.
Yeah, look, that dude looked civilized when he was doing it because he did it so quickly, but once I realized what he was doing, I was like, wow, that's... But the thing I love about that audio clip is how keen Jason is to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And on the video that I took, you could see him push me out of the way, and I was reasonably happy to let him do it. But yeah, it was funny. I want to do it.
That's more humane than his normal methods, I think.
No, that's right. Yeah. Mm.
And for Mike, that'll be good, because bleeding's supposed to make the fish better eating.
I might try it out. Just double-minded on it still.
I'm gonna do that every
The suffering part of the...
You can brain
kill.
spike them first, Mike, if you want, because the heart keeps pumping for like about
Keeps
a minute
pumping? Alright.
or so after that.
Might have to do that then.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Also, I don't know that they'd know that it had happened. They probably do. Because, well, they don't have any feeling in their mouths and digestive system because they're used to eating rocks and fucking debris and whole animals and shit. But their throat probably has, like, the snapping of their spinal column.
And bleeding out ain't a way to go.
Oh,
I mean, we see it all the time. I mean, most animals go that way. Chickens, for example.
Bison.
You just take the whole head off. You let them bleed out. But if it'll make the meat taste better.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I think the brain spike thing first.
And I believe, did you eat yours, Andy?
No, I didn't take any.
It was just the other three.
Yeah, just
boys. Yeah,
amongst the three.
yeah, because Tim was saying he's a really good. Jason said he's a really good. So.
Yeah.
How did Tim eat his? Prepare.
Sashimi, I think.
Wow, awesome. That's what I wanted to do, but we ended up just frying them up.
Right.
Yeah, tasted really nice.
Yeah, right.
And thanks for your share of the fish, Jimbo. Andy.
Yep.
Oh, that's alright, yeah.
I had one this weekend that went to waste. That would have been yours, dude. A red rock cod.
Oh, really?
Oh, poop fish.
No.
Nah, it was a proper rod.
It was an actual
Yeah,
red rock
but a rock
cod.
cod's still a bit poop.
Well, it's not like the poop fish.
It's not toad
No,
poop.
it's not the poop fish, no.
Actually, they're not. Well, they're ugly fuckers, but
Yeah, that's what I mean.
poor man's lobster. And it was really red-orange, so it was very distinct from the actual poop fish one.
It wasn't that poisonous type?
Poisonous or venomous?
Venomous or poisonous?
They're pretty
venomous.
much all venomous. It had
Right.
spikes all the fuck over its head.
So how do you prepare it exactly?
Oh, you just don't get poked by the spikes when you cook it. That's
Okay.
the only thing.
How big was it?
It was about 28 centimeters.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty big.
It was like the first real one of those fish I've seen.
And you caught this where?
Green Point, high tide. You know how you can see the sort of rocks in the shallow water? And they're like the big rectangles in green water?
Oh, yeah.
I whizzed a cast just to the furthest one of those away, like right in the rocks. And boom.
Just the
Wow.
one fish?
I got a few baby snappers as well, but yeah, there's a lot of those around. So.
Only the one keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. All right. Should we listen to the third snippet?
To the tip of the tail, yeah, he's 32. He's a keeper? Yeah. So you put the between. You want to do it? Yeah, put your finger in there. You can do it between the gills. No, it comes up to me. There. Yep.
Here we go, boys.
Yeah. So that's the clip where Jason was desperate to have a go at ripping it open. Did a good job.
Yep.
Yeah, but he was pretty keen.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how he rolls, I guess.
Yeah.
Would you recommend him? I think I would definitely, yes, and I think you guys would as well, yeah.
Yeah, and go back.
He was pretty good.
He's the man,
Yeah.
Yeah.
honestly.
Based in Sydney, and maybe heaps of other places, probably.
Yeah. Like I couldn't fault him, really. The only thing, as I mentioned on just the day after, was that I was, it wasn't really the sort of sit back and relax style trip.
No.
That we were constantly on the hunt for fish. At no point did I think, oh, this is relaxing.
Oh, yeah.
But, you don't pay that much money and just to sit there and relax. I can do that on the beach down the road from my place anytime.
Yeah, just at home.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's good that he was giving us our money's worth, I felt.
Yeah.
Or trying to.
Yeah.
And it was cool how decisive he was, Oh, we'll just sit here for another 5 minutes. If we don't get anything, we move on.
Yes.
One spot after another spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't linger too long, It was pretty cool. Every time we move a spot, he'd teach us a new thing.
Yeah, new technique.
Yeah.
Like the jigging for squid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool to actually do that finally.
Yeah.
Now
It was
we
just
can
a
catch
shame
on
you
bait.
didn't take your set out of the box, Mike.
Yeah, still mint.
Yes.
Inbox.
When do you think how much longer will it be mint for, dude?
How many
Forever?
years are we talking about, or?
When are you going to use it?
I'm not sure, man.
So never.
Oh, come on. You know what this is. This is what the podcast is about.
A form of therapy.
So did you not buy 2 sets?
I bought one set, man.
What were you
Only
thinking?
because I didn't have enough cash.
Jeez Louise.
And he knew that it was going to be the mint in box set, really.
He did too. He did.
He didn't have to buy a second set to make it, so he could have one
Yeah,
mint in box.
That's true.
Yeah. My Warlord Bolt-Action miniatures arrived.
Very cool.
They came in, once I got the email, they did come in quite quickly after that. I probably got the email 4 days before the actual miniatures arrived from America.
Sweet.
So they came on a decent sort of shipping. From a review perspective, I would say the half tracks are excellent. The half tracks are 2 sprues.
Plastic then?
Yep, fully plastic. Of 2 sprues, a instruction book, and a decal sheet. The sprues have, like the actual miniatures, had really good detail and interior detail.
Yep.
Then I got the 3 half tracks, and then I bought the 1,000-point army. And the 1,000-point army consisted of 1 box, they're all metal.
Hey, really?
Yep.
Oh, man.
1 box of the dudes and a couple of blisters of other dudes. Now, there is a lot of flash. There's a lot of flash. There's flash, it's at the level where it wouldn't bother me, but I know it would kill Mike. So, I would suggest Mike maybe a tank army.
No, I thought these were plastic, honestly.
Not the US ones. No.
Oh, right.
They're sort of phasing in plastic, so...
I'll even shake the box. You can hear that.
Okay.
And it's literally a
I'm
plastic.
sure I did read the Germans, though.
Yeah, well, these are the US, and essentially there's 2 gigantic blisters inside with the dudes in it.
God damn it.
And actually, there's no bases. That's a bit weird. No, there's 0 bases came with. They sort of stand on their own, but...
Ah, okay, I see.
Yeah, they've got like the little lead base. But, you know, in Games Workshop that would be a plastic base as well. But, you know, it's probably designed so you can put... Based on the game system you're using, you can use whatever base that's necessary. But and 2 Jeeps came, and the 2 Jeeps are resin, but an extremely high quality finish.
Wow.
So it's not like it's a really light resin, unlike the Flames of War stuff that's a really heavy resin, and it's got a lot of detail on it, like camouflage nets and stuff.
Wow, cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a bit sus on any resin.
Yeah. Some flash, but not as bad as the metals.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So, the only complaint I would have is when it arrived, one of the blisters was open and all of its contents had sort of was dancing around the inside of the big box that it came in.
You didn't have a piece of tape closing it or anything?
No. So that was a bit weird, but I can forgive him that.
The flash, can you easily remove it with like an X-Acto? Or is there a lot of work involved in...
Yeah, look, it's hard to... The flash that I can see... the flash that is the biggest chunk of it is intentional flash, right? Where there's a piece of flash between a guy's leg and his gun, or for instance, one of the dudes I'm looking at is standing upright and holding his gun as if he was shooting down the sights of it standing upright. And there's a piece of flash that's part of the moulding process from his toe to the tip of his rifle.
Okay.
And that's there, I think, potentially to support the rifle end, if you know what I mean, so it doesn't get bent.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it's that sort of flash. It's not just the moulding deformation or, you know, leakage style flash. It looks like it's a definitive part of the process, you know, to ensure the bits don't bend or break, for instance. There's that one that's open again. Fucking spilled out everywhere. Look at that.
Don't lose a piece, man.
No, I'm not. I'm putting it back. That's what I was a bit upset about. Yeah, so look, I don't think it's not the same level of flash that you were dealing with on Flames of War. Also, because it's 28mm, it's easier to get off.
Yeah. Just knock it off with a hammer.
It's not the sort of flash where there's just a seam down their uniform, you know, like you used to get with the old metal Mordians and stuff from Games Workshop, where the molds were just crap and, you know,
sort of didn't align
properly. That's right. It's not that sort of flash.
Cool.
Yeah,
all right.
So you may not freak out. Yeah. But no, if I was you, because I know that flash drives you wild. That if you can check that they're plastics before you commit would be the good.
Yeah, it's just
Germans probably would be plastic because they were, like, let's face it, they'd be one of the most common.
No popular ones, yeah. That's cool.
So yeah, they arrived, as I say, really good shipping and stuff, good packaging outside of the opened blister. I was surprised to see that they were all metals as well.
Any freebies?
None.
Add anything in there?
None. Damn. Nothing. I suspect that the Warlord website...
Not even a thank you card saying thank you for...
Nothing. Not even a catalogue. And I sort of was...
Sausage.
Come on.
What was that, Andy?
Not a sausage.
Not a sausage, no. I sort of was expecting a free catalogue or something, you know. They usually throw a bit of shit like that in, or...
Yeah.
You know. Even eBay dudes do that stuff.
Yeah.
And they put in a thank you for ordering from our web store.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that came in.
I mean, when I order from eBay, like when I order CDs and stuff like that, like when I get the package, sometimes they give me free CDs, but most of the time they they end up putting snacks in there, you know.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, no joke, snacks like lollipops and things like that, and a little thank you.
Do you eat
Thank
them?
you card.
Wow.
Yeah, of course. You know,
You don't-
they're the ones you'd buy from the store. They're not handmade or anything weird like that.
Would be weird.
They're unopened snacks. It's like someone putting a pack of Skittles in there. It's like that.
Yeah, right, okay. So there's no chance of them being like
No.
marijuana
Why would they do that?
lollies or anything.
Yeah, why would they waste
Why wouldn't they do that?
Well, you know, the medical marijuana in the US has made some massive step forwards in food technology.
Is that for real? Like what?
So some of the medical marijuana that I've had is the lollipop style, where it's just a lollipop. And the most impressive one is, you know, those Listerine sheets that you just put on your tongue and they dissolve really quickly?
Excellent.
Yeah. Full of THC oil. And they were quite impressive as well.
What
And
were the
very
flavors? Were they flavored like apple, lemon?
The ones I had were just a mint flavour.
Cool.
And,
So
yeah.
it freshens your breath as well.
Mm.
How cool.
And get you off your titties.
Lister mint.
Yeah, like I was, fucked up off that Listerine one.
How many squares would you say?
I only had one,
Wow.
and I was pretty messed. Pretty baked, as the hipsters would say. These young stoners. Be baked, dude.
It's not that young anymore, man. That's like
Really?
90s these days, yeah.
I'm just old now.
Early 90s even. No. Maybe it's just more of an American style thing. Because it was in lots of 90s movies.
Half-baked.
Exactly.
With Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, so maybe more cultural than a time.
So I was on Facebook earlier, and someone posted they had been in one of those, what are those mud things?
Oh, Tough Mudder.
Tough Mudder. And they had worn white underwear, and they posted their underwear, and it was brown.
Yeah.
And it got me to thinking, why do you think they even ever made white underwear?
Yeah.
Why do you think they ever thought that would be an acceptable colour?
Maybe
Exactly.
so you know when it's ready to wash.
Dude, I could put mine on if I had white underwear, and I do, but I never wear them, because if I put them on, an hour later take them off, they'd look like they needed a wash. Like, it's the filthiest part of your body, man.
Yeah.
They should come pre-yellowed. You know what I'm saying?
Pre-skid marked.
Pre-skid. Yeah, pre-skid.
Because in that poop book that I've lent you, Mike, that you've never read or returned,
Mint in box.
Wow.
yeah,
Go
well,
ahead.
it's not because I read it. They actually talk about, they did a survey of all the different types of underwears, different nationalities' underwear. And the nationalities, like us, the Western white, non-continental Europeans, had a huge percentage of shit in our underwear.
Wow.
Where the cultures where they bidet and wash their ass had virtually 0% of fecal matter.
Wait. That doesn't stop you from,
Well, that minor percentage of fecal matter was probably from farts, yeah, rather than just secondary wipage against the underwear.
Fuck, man. There's always a chance you'll follow through. That is fucking rigged. That's
Well,
bullshit.
Dude,
Which
read the
countries
book.
are these?
Dude, read the
Yeah,
book.
I'm not up to that part yet.
I can't tell you what countries it is because I don't have the book on hand.
All right.
But it is in there. It is in
Okay.
there. And they say the French apparently said to the woman when she was doing the survey, because it's a woman that wrote that book, that they laugh at the English because what do they shower by rubbing a newspaper against themselves? And that did make me chuckle a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my random retarded thing for the day. Was why would they ever make white underwear? What were they thinking? Because you think about it, white was the colour of undies forever.
Maybe because it's cheaper, you don't have to buy it as well.
Yeah, maybe it did. I might do some research on why underwear is white.
Interesting.
I've been reading a comic book. I started reading a new comic book, which is All-Star Western, which is the DC. Well, that's exactly it. It came up on the Comixology, the online comics, the digital comics provider, for 99 cents for issue 1. So I thought I'll give that shit a go. Because I used to really enjoy sort of military comics. And I particularly have just finished reading Garth Ennis's World War II series, the Battlefields.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd give a Western a shot. And it's a Western with a twist that I wasn't expecting. It's based in Gotham City.
That's kind of cool.
And the main dude is like a hardcore Western dude, like a hardcore cowboy. And
Are there Indians in this one?
There's not at the moment. They're in the city, and he's wearing a Confederate uniform, and all of the Yankees are talking smack to him and shit.
Oh,
Damn
cool.
Yankees.
But yeah, it's not what I was expecting at all. It's drawn like a Batman comic, and it's based in Gotham City, and I've only read the first issue, but I will continue to read it, I think. But I'm not sure like how many more parallels there'll be to the Batman universe in All-Star Western, but I'll keep you posted.
It would be cool if there were.
What's the title again?
All-Star Western.
All-Star Western. Cool.
It's a DC title. And the penultimate Accelerators comic came out, and I read it, and it was excellent. It's like the rest of the comic series. I can't recommend it highly enough, the Accelerators. It's just a one-shot, 6-issue. Fantastic.
That's the time travel.
That's the time travel one, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really quite good. You got anything you've done this week, Andy? Or researched, or... Oh!
Just the fishing, mostly.
Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, I heard
I purchased the digital deluxe, yeah, and downloaded it. It's fucking massive, man.
Yeah.
But when I purchased it, it did actually download and install.
Okay.
Unlike the beta.
Yeah.
So I was reasonably happy with that.
Did you get your animal, Andy?
Not until I start playing. I don't have it in RL.
Oh, okay. When does it actually go live?
For all the noobs,
Is that what they call it?
4th of April. For everyone else who gets a pre-order 5 days before that.
Wow, cool. What's in the deluxe?
The digital deluxe.
You get the Imperial race, which can play in any faction. You get... Hang on, let me just have a look here.
You get a mount.
Like just a normal horse this time? No
A white
spiders
Imperial
and shit?
horse.
A white Imperial horse. You get a mud crab vanity pet.
Cool.
Mike would eat it.
I couldn't live in a world without a mud crab. You get the Rings of Mara, which
Those are
allows
really
you
cool
to
ideas.
complete the Ritual of Mara with a friend and receive an experience bonus when you play together. So I'm looking at the website now, and it looks like I do need to buy the Explorers Pack in order to get the 5 days early access.
That
How about the mount?
is
What kind of
included.
mount do you get?
Oh, it's a white Imperial horse.
Awesome.
The
See,
Explorer,
that's cool.
The Explorer Pack comes with any pre-order. So
Oh,
you
okay.
get the Imperial stuff on top of that.
And how much is this limited?
Yes, $119.95. If you want the standard edition, which, why would you want the standard edition? Don't get any of that stuff, but you get the Explorers Pack, which has the 5 days early access to the game before the initial release, and you get to play any race in any alliance. You get a Scuttler vanity pet,
Cool.
which is a tiny but loyal companion, and you get bonus treasure maps. So yeah, the way I'm reading the website, Andy, it doesn't, the ability to play any race in any alliance is actually separate from the exclusive collection. So if...
Any race, any alliance is in the normal pre-order.
Yes, and then playing as an Imperial is in the digital deluxe. Exclusive, sorry. I just couldn't live in a universe where there was no Imperial or a vanity pet or a Ring of Mara.
That Ring of Mara is just cool.
Yeah, so we should all buy it and then all do the quest together.
Are you gonna even play, mate?
Not sure yet.
So yeah, don't get too frenzied, Jimbo.
Well, no, but either way, you and I will play.
Yeah.
Maybe Christian. I might SMS
boring,
Christian and tell him to get onto it.
We'd have a better chance with Baz, I think, because Christian's... And that way Baz can have a chance to play without getting taunted.
Have more videos come out regarding gameplay and things like that?
Heaps,
Just want to know how much you have to actually invest into playing this.
Well,
if you really want to try and get anywhere,
really,
if you know what I mean.
Investment.
But
Not what I would consider an investment.
it's a liability. Look, to be honest, for me, WoW I think was so addictive was because it was the first MMO that I played, and it was the first immersive world that I'd ever played in that didn't turn off. And I think once I got that out of my system, I haven't found the other ones so addictive, in the sense that, you know, with WoW you used to freak out that the world would continue when you weren't playing, and that when you weren't on, people were raiding and getting gear. And
well, that's the thing, you know, like, you want to play it and enjoy it, not just get on for the sake of getting on.
Because you feel you have to,
Yeah. Because I don't mind putting the time in, so long as it's enjoyable.
And you're in control of what time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for me, thinking about it, I think the thing with WoW is that it was the first of that type. For me, that I'd really played, you know, because I didn't play Ultima or...
EverQuest, I think it was.
EverQuest. I didn't play either of those, so I didn't have that full... Because you talk to people who played EverQuest, and they were just addicted as we were to WoW. For me, it was like a revolution in the way games worked.
Yeah, so...
You know, so...
But even the addictive stuff with WoW was fun. You know what I mean? But it had to stop somewhere.
Yeah. And really, I think the posts expansions...
Yeah. Once they got cluey on the grinding...
Yeah.
And how it can keep people in.
They turned it into an art form.
Yeah. So hopefully, you know, Morrowind, I think.
Yeah. Elder Scrolls Online.
There's something different about it to all the other ones that have come out after World of Warcraft. So I'll give it a few months and see how people gauge it. See how I'll research it a bit. I mean, I can get into it and just play it.
Well,
I
that's
guess,
research on its own. It's like...
But that's me playing it, see?
Yeah.
That's me in there already.
Well...
So, before I get in there...
The thing is, you're going to have
see it.
research for 3 months to decide if you like it or not. Whereas you could just get in and find out in 3 days.
Yeah, well, I don't think you could find out in 3 days. You know what I mean?
Really?
There's gonna be a lot of content. There's just you'll end up spending the first 3 days just walking around, working out how things work, things like that. That can be done.
So you'd
but I mean, like, the
read
core of the
about
game,
some
like what it's
other dude
about.
say that?
Huh?
So you'd
Sorry?
rather read some other dude's impression of?
Yeah. I mean, I almost got into the Star Wars one. I was gonna buy the limited edition thing and everything. I was gonna really get into it, and I gave it a few months, and then no one was goddamn playing the thing.
Was that
You know
the
what I
one where they introduced the Jedi and then it just broke the entire game?
No, it was the one after.
Right.
It was the
Because
one where...
I've heard stories of whichever game that one was. It was a great game, and then they introduced the Jedi, and then everyone took a Jedi and was
Is that
unbeatable.
right? Okay.
And it just ruined the game, yeah.
May have been that one. I'm not sure, but it was one of them. But I didn't actually play it. I didn't log in. I didn't do anything.
Really?
How much enjoyment did you get out of all your research?
All I knew was I wasn't gonna play it,
So,
and I was done.
how much
I didn't have to spend a minute in it.
Did you do research, or was that you just
Yeah, it was
read
the research. It was all there.
Did you buy it?
No.
And who were you planning on playing it with?
Not sure. I was just planning to play it because I was really into,
Because you should have reached out to me, man. I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm sure Andy would have had a look at it.
Yeah, but then I found out what I found out, so it wasn't worth it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we could have played it together, but
Yeah.
if it wasn't going to be fun, if it was just going to be a grind and same old thing, wasn't going to be worth it. Yeah, that's just me, though.
More depths of crazy.
No, it's just more realistic, really, when
Yeah,
you think
yeah.
about it. You can go balls deep into something and then work it out for yourself. That it's actually
That is more my way.
Well, the thing is, what have you got to lose, really?
time,
How much time?
actual time, because you're the one playing the thing.
What are you going to do in that time
You
anyways?
do other shit.
What?
I don't know. You go fishing. You do other shit.
Paint
Other
his
than-
3 Valkyrie dropships.
Seriously, man, what
Come
are you
on,
going
man.
to do in that time?
Record a podcast.
You can
do other shit. That's
No,
all I'm saying.
I do know what you
can,
mean, Mike, but I sort
don't
of
think you
understand
will.
where Andy's coming from, where Andy's point is you've got to spend that time anyway with the research.
And as well, that no matter if you're playing it or not, or what you do, you're going to wait. Like, it's not
It's
like...
not about wasting time. Okay, let's say you're like hang gliding. You could go goddamn hang gliding instead of playing.
You could do both of those things.
Are you
though.
wasting your time there?
Yeah, I think maybe not dedicating 100% of your time to the single goal.
You're
is
not going to
maybe-
be like, this weekend I'm going to do nothing but play. It's like...
That's how it is sometimes, bro.
But did you
Yeah.
actually plan to not do anything other than play? Because I never planned it that way.
Fuck
It
no.
always
That's
just
what
happened.
I was looking at. I'm thinking it's got to be one of those games where I can play for a minute, pick it up in fucking 5 months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just one of those games, but it'll still have that enjoyment. I don't know if that's possible, but something that I don't have to log into, every day.
To do
Or
admin.
even, yeah.
So, Andy, last pod when we were at my house, you asked if I'd play a cat person.
Yeah.
I've just saw a screenshot and the answer is no.
Really?
Negative.
Oh.
They look like lion people rather than cat people, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, the only other exciting news I have this week is that my Tell 'em Steve Dave t-shirts have been shipped.
Oh, sweet.
So I'm expecting my Tell 'em Steve
How
Dave
many?
t-shirts. I bought 2.
Yeah.
I bought the classic grey with the 3 heads on it.
Yep.
And then the Army Ant t-shirt.
Oh,
with
that's awesome, that one.
Yeah, that's a new one where Walt's drawn the ant.
Yeah.
Yeah, except apparently he fucked up. You know how they have YOLO?
Yes.
You only live once?
Yeah.
He thought it was Yo-Ho. And it's on the ant, his helmet. It
That's
says
awesome.
Yo-Ho.
That is very...
I got fucking drenched today with the riding of the motorcycle home from work.
Wow, what time is this?
5 o'clock. And it was brand new business suit, drenched head, like, it would not have got more wet had I have put it on and walked into Botany Bay.
No shit.
Oh, dude.
Was it that fat rain?
Yeah, big rains. And also a lot of dormant water on the road. So, yeah, first time out with the new suit, fucked it. I did see a really interesting video on YouTube, and it was a slow-motion capture of a pig decomposing.
Whoa.
And it was extremely interesting. It was,
An extreme fucking waste.
well, it was a piglet.
An extreme fucking
Yeah,
waste.
even better. Mm.
Well, yeah, I guess you could have eaten it, but this was for science. This video was taken, right?
Fine.
And apparently the dude who took the video used a pig because they're so similar to humans, and it's actually illegal to film a human decompose. So
Was it was it a wild pig? What was it? Or was it bought from the butchers?
no, it was a pig that he had sourced from a farm that they regularly die in farms, apparently because the sows sit on them and stuff.
Didn't know that.
And it just looked like a little piglet laying on the dirt. And he put some plastic beads at the bottom of it so that you could see the movement of the insects and the infestation of it. So you could see because after a short period of time, the pig becomes unrecognisable and it's just like a gigantic black blob of rot. But you can see the pellets, the plastic pellets actually move as they're getting pushed away by all of the insect movement. It's fascinating.
That reminds me, when I was in primary school, fairly young, I'd come home every afternoon, and I'd go through the back way of the flat, where the bins are, and near one of the bins there was a dead rat. Okay, it was huge, and fresh kill. And then every day I'd walk past it. No one had removed it. No one had cleaned it up. So yeah, I sort of slowly, not slowly, but every day saw
a bit of decomposition.
Yeah, that's right. And there was even one time where the whole of its skin was just crawling. It was that full of maggots. You know what I'm saying? It was cool, man. And the fur was just sort of just coming off in clumps. And then it just turned into nothing. There was nothing left but just
a shadow.
A few bones, a skull. It was bleached.
It's exactly what ends up with this pig. The last thing you can see that's recognisable is its ear, because it's all cartilage.
Oh, wow.
And it moves around on top of the mound for a little while. But yeah, I'll link the video. It's pretty interesting to watch, but it has turned me right off being buried, because all of the infestation starts in the mouth.
Oh.
And so when it's rotting, it rots away from the mouth, because everything runs in through the mouth. I was expecting it to go in through the mouth and the anus, but it goes in through the mouth, and then at some point in the process, it breaks out of the gut. And then
Wait, why would you care?
It's the thought of it. And really, it doesn't actually matter for me. Wouldn't like to think of someone that I cared about having shit climbing in their mouth.
Don't they sew up your mouth when they embalm you? And all your other orifices?
Well, yeah, but they'd get through there, right?
Also, you'd be in a coffin, so there wouldn't be, that would seal out bugs. They could just beg on you before they put you in close the coffin.
Yeah, I wonder how that works, because it is the bugs, probably bacteria would start the process.
Yeah, it would probably be all bacteria.
If they plastic sealed, vacuum sealed your casket, wouldn't be a problem.
I think they are airtight. Or if they, pumped it full of nitrogen.
No, you just put those silica beads in there.
Yeah.
For all the moisture.
The dessicant beads.
Yeah. That's the one. That's the one I put to keep my shit mint in box. They found a tomb of some Chinese woman. I think it was a royal. I'm not sure which century it was. But the way that she was buried, there was no way that she could decompose properly. So when they finally opened up the casket, it was can you picture like a wooden casket? Then it would be covered in mud, and then it would be covered in something else, and then it would be sealed inside a stone sarcophagus. So it was just super airtight. You know what I mean? And so when they finally opened the casket up and to check on the body, the skin was still really supple. I mean, everything had tightened up, of course, but it was just so well preserved. It wasn't anything compared to those Egyptian mummies. This one was just wow. They could, the forensics team could tell exactly how she died. What problems she had, what health problems she was suffering from, because the body was still that, in that good condition. It's interesting. She didn't look pretty.
No. A lot of the sources of our ancient literature, we're actually finding some new literature because of the technology that's used to scan mummies. And apparently, during the mummification process, they would stuff you full of papyrus.
Yes, I heard of that.
So they've actually found some new works of Plutarch and stuff that have been stuffed inside mummies and drafts and stuff. But with the new scanning technique, they can actually read
each layer,
the manuscript, without having to disassemble the mummy, which is pretty fantastic.
That is excellent.
Very cool.
Yeah. And, I read a book on archaeology before Christmas on the finding of Hisarlik, which is the site of Troy, or what they believe is the site of Troy. And the book was talking about modern archaeological techniques. And now apparently when they find something, they'll only excavate a tiny piece of it, enough to get an idea about it, and they leave the rest for future archaeologists because they know the technology is going to get better and better and better. And even now what they'll do is they'll excavate a little bit to get enough, they're obviously under funding requirements to return with treasures of some sort for whatever museum or whatever university they're working for or whatever it is. And then they do a 3D image of the rest of the site. So academically they can tell that it was a kitchen,
And it's
or
so
it was
costly to dig.
Yes.
Because everything gets catalogued even before you take it out of the ground sort of thing. For example, like shipwrecks. They spend years, don't they, just cataloguing what's on the seabed before they actually start taking the treasures and,
And, I actually went on a dig when I did first year archaeology at university, and it was the most horrific experience of my life.
Why?
It was horrible. We were in Port Macquarie.
Oh, okay.
And I did 2 digs that year, not through choice. The first one was to excavate shell middens from ancient Aboriginal people.
Cool.
And
it's like the midden we were fishing off down at
Southwest
where was that, Andy?
Arm in Bundino.
That was a midden, right?
It looked like one to me.
Yeah, apparently all of this east coast of Australia is pretty much one big midden. So all of those little bays, because, the Aboriginals were here for 60,000 years, and I think they may think a bit longer now. But yeah, I know that Botany Bay here, a lot of it is a midden.
Right.
So we were digging in this midden, which essentially is an ancient junk pile. And I had envisaged when I went to university thinking I was going to be Indiana Jones, that I would be doing that shit in Israel or in Egypt.
You've got the hat.
I got the hat now. But I didn't envisage that I would be scraping through an Aboriginal dung heap. And at the time I had no respect for Australian history or Aboriginal prehistory, which I do now. I do have a respect and an interest in it. At the time I had zero interest. And the other thing we were doing, the other dig that I went on, was to discover the foundations and anything else we could about an old house, right? It was a big house, but it had fallen down and been buried in the dirt. And on top of it was about 1 metre of lantana, and you had to get through the lantana and then into the dirt and basically spend the entire day on your knees and not find anything. It was horrific and covered in leeches and fucking sunburn and mosquito bites, and it was everything that this city boy did not think archaeology was about. So I changed to English literature. But yeah, it really wasn't what I was expecting from archaeology.
So what were your teachers telling you while you were digging? No, it's not the treasures that you find, it's what you find.
They were just cracking whips on his back.
Yeah, because essentially what we were doing was we were providing the interned labour or the slave labour for their research projects.
What the shit?
Which was the other, because they were doing a PhD or writing a paper on Aboriginal eating habits in Port Macquarie or whatever it was, and they just basically designed the course so that we would go down and do the lifting.
Okay.
Yeah, which I took a bit of an offence to be honest.
But now you understand why.
Now I understand why. It's still not my scene, though. I'm still glad that I ended up in IT. But
Okay, while you were digging, did they find anything? I don't mean like physically, but I mean like, did they find out more about Aboriginal life back in the day? Did they discover something whilst you were digging? Like, oh my god!
At the Aboriginal midden,
yes.
As far as I'm aware, zero. So, we didn't find shit. I found a couple of stone tools, which were exciting.
That's very cool.
But I'm talking 2 stone tools in 2 weeks.
Did you recognise them straight away?
No, not straight away. So basically, the process I was going through was anything that looked of interest, I would put to the side. And then at the end of the day, the academic would come over and we'd go through what I'd put aside. And a couple of them were stone tools.
Oh, cool.
And the reason that they were of interest, we were looking for particular things, but they looked like they had been human intervention had occurred with this rock, like someone had chipped it, broken it, etc.
Okay.
At the convict house, found heaps of shit. I found nothing, but other people found heaps of shit. Like, for instance, silver spoons. We did find the foundations. We did dig up the foundations. And at the end of the day, that was reasonably interesting. But the convict house was actually the place that I got covered in leeches. And I actually had one of them on my groin right next to my cock and balls until I went back to the camp. We had sat around the camp smoking peace pipes and singing Kumbaya to the acoustic guitars. And I went
wearing
in.
Speedos or something? Because how does it?
I had jeans on.
How does it get up there?
Crawled up the leg. And it wasn't until I got into the tent and I took my jeans off, I saw this fucking thing, because it had been there so long. It was massive, heaps bigger than my cock, which really is not that difficult, but big fucking thing down the inside. And I went running back out to the campfire that was still surrounded by stoners and kumbaya singers, and I was like, "Get it off me!" in my underwear. So
it was attached to your...
No, it wasn't attached to my penis. It was attached to my leg, but it was right next to it.
Well, if it was attached to your ball, it would have sucked up other things.
Yeah, well, to be honest, there's probably not enough warmth and blood flow going through that zone to attract it. But, yeah, it was all in all a really horrific experience. I remember it as I really was not a big fan of it and did not continue my archaeological studies.
Christ.
Stolen mango, Mike. Have you heard about the big mango that was stolen?
No, it was someone else mentioned it to me, but I don't remember the details. No.
7-ton big mango stolen from Bowen.
7 ton.
It's massive, dude. It's a big
What's
thing.
this thing made of?
Let me have a look.
Because, dude, 7 tons pretty heavy.
So, rendered concrete, fiberglass, Rio. Yeah, and they took it away in a crane. It's still missing. No one knows where it ended up. And I've got to say, looking at the photos, I mean, there's no scale replica. They only talk about its weight. It looks maybe, 32 feet. 32 feet tall.
Hold on, there's something fishy about this shit.
Well, I did hear a rumour that the shop, which was the owner of the mango, was in a bitter dispute with a fast food chain.
Right.
It's a weird thing to steal a mango that's not even a mango. Having said that, I do recall myself and Andy once considered the theft of the big chicken in Moombi, Andy.
Oh,
And how big is this chicken?
The big chicken is on a pole, which was, I think, what stopped us pinching it.
It's not as big as the mango, is it?
Not as big as the mango, no. It's probably 6 foot tall, the big chicken.
It's still pretty big for a chicken.
It's a big... You could ride it, and that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to steal it, take it back to the house and ride it.
Yeah.
It's in Tamworth. We were in Armadale at the time, so it was like an hour down the road. And then, Andy, do you remember that we had that thing where we wanted to piss on all the big things?
Yeah.
And we actually ticked off the 2 biggest things, the Harbour Bridge and the Opera House.
The Opera House, yeah.
In the one night. And then
some dude turned on the lights behind this glass as we were pissing.
So, Mike, we're in the, you know where the sails of the Opera House are?
Yeah.
And they got those massive big sheets of glass that go right to the top of the sail. Andy and I are at the front sail, pissing on the Opera House, and some dude turns on the lights inside the shell. And I think we ran away and I was still pissing at the time.
Sounds about right.
It was like, piss all over the place. But yeah, we didn't actually piss on any big things. We just pissed on the 2 biggest tourist attractions in Australia.
I guess monuments. I guess they're monuments.
They would be monuments, yeah.
Have you still got that list?
Well, that is the list.
That was it, right?
That was the list.
It was pre-internet, man. We didn't do much planning.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of money to travel around either. Yeah. We weren't globetrotters at that point.
Name what sort of big...
Pyramids.
No, what do we call them?
Like the big
We have
pineapple?
like the big prawn, a big pineapple. What else do we have? What's that big merino sheep?
The big merino sheep where the gift shop's in its balls?
Big banana.
When did this all start? When did
pineapple.
the big thing start?
Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know if we're the only ones that do... Well, mind you, there's some big things in America, I think.
Yeah, they have a
that
lot
I've
of
seen.
those.
I don't know the origin of the gigantic thing. And also how they become a tourist attraction. I can remember when they built the big merino in Goulburn, people would go just to see it. And it's really not that impressive.
Again,
I didn't even know we had a
pre-internet.
big mango, dude. And
Really?
now that it's gotten stolen, everyone's going to know about this big mango. I reckon someone did it on purpose.
You reckon?
Maybe
Yeah.
they've got it set
How
up
the hell do
somewhere,
you...
and they're
How the
charging
hell do you
for
steal
admission
a 7-ton mango, dude, without anybody noticing?
in a really big basket?
Jeez. They do have on CC footage a crane backed up to it and took it. But the crane was unidentified and unidentifiable.
How many cranes do we have, honestly?
Well, how many in Bowen, for instance? It's in far north Queensland, for fuck's sake, up in Andy's old territory.
What if there's like some conspiracy, some super criminal stealing all the big things?
Dude, Stuart's up that way.
You're onto
It's in his
something,
backyard.
man.
But yes, some dude could just be setting up a monument park in the outback.
Or a
Around
fucking
his
fruit
lair.
basket, yeah.
And the next thing on his list is the fiberglass Ayers Rock at Leyland Brothers World in Newcastle. Or Hexham, I think it is.
Actually, maybe the dude's going to steal all the big fruits and make a giant fruit salad.
Is that still there, the Leyland Brothers thing?
It's a service station now.
Oh, wow.
Because they went broke. So, yeah, it's like a real... Well, it was always a lame satire of itself, but now it really is.
What was the drawing point of that place? Like,
It was
what else did they have other than that big...
the Leyland Brothers Outback World. They had one of those... Remember, I don't know if it's still at Darling Harbour, because I haven't been to Darling Harbour for a long time. But they had a gem shop, where you go in and you could harvest your own gems, you know, where you put the kids in a big, much like the archaeological dig, just put them in a big pit and there's a few random coloured rocks in there and they can pick them up. There was merchandise and tourism. They were trying to promote four-wheel drive and the outback, I guess. It was a disaster, that's all anyone knows about it, yeah. And it's now a service station.
What was the theme song to that Leyland Brothers world? How did it go?
We'll travel all over the countryside, us the Leyland Brothers.
Oh, God, I remember that.
My old man hated them. Because my old man was a bit of a bushie. He was a bit of a, you know, like a camper and an adventurer, and he used to go out into the outback all the time, and he hated that they'd walk around. They had a caravan, and he's like, what sort of fucking tossers go out in a caravan? And then they'd walk around in thongs and stuff. He's like, they should have boots on. They could be bitten by snakes. They don't know what they're doing, those fucking Leyland Brothers. Yeah, he was quite vocal against them.
They weren't homosexual or anything.
No.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm...
No, they were just two families of brothers, I think.
Would
it
it
was
be
like...
one family, or was it actually two?
Well, there was a family that were the Leyland Brothers, but they had wives and kids.
And no scandal at all, none. Like, they were clean cut.
Yeah, no, it was literally, I think poor financial choices led to their demise. There wasn't like any sort of Fleetwood Mac style inter-couple fucking and stuff.
Alright then.
But back in that day, it would have been really easy to cover up scandal.
Yeah, that's true.
Why don't we start digging this shit up?
I'm in.
do an expose on the Leyland Brothers.
Yeah. We could do some reenactments like they do on those crime things.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
And give him the fucked up 80s hairdo.
Yeah.
You know? Real thick bangs.
Yep.
That's
Framed
right.
glasses.
It was Mike and Mel. Oh, they're MBEs, dude.
Hold on, didn't they have a TV? They had a TV show. Yeah, I think I remember.
From 1976 to 1984.
I am smelling a scandal here.
Okay, so in November 1990, Leyland Brothers opened the theme park Leyland Brothers World on a 40-hectare property at North Arm Cove on the Pacific Highway north of Newcastle. It included a 1 in 40th scale replica of Uluru. as well as amusement rides, playgrounds, a roadhouse, a museum, and 144 student capacity bush camp.
40 hectares is a lot of space to bury some corpses. There could be anything hidden out there.
Yes, and of course November 1990, here's the bankruptcy information, they borrowed $1 million in 1990, which was the recession we had to have, the Banana Republic recession. And the construction got blown out due to rain and a 27% interest rate on the $1 million.
That's evil.
And so 2 years later, there was a receiver appointed, and they failed to meet their loan commitment to the Commonwealth Bank, and it was auctioned off in 92 for $800,000. So that's why it went broke. 27% interest rate, man. I remember that shit. My sister, when she first bought a house, she was paying like 22% interest, and at the time, credit cards were 18%. So she would have been better off to buy it on a credit card than get a mortgage.
Jesus
That's criminal.
Christ. And where did they build this?
North Arm Cove on the Pacific Highway, which is just north of Newcastle.
Wasn't on Aboriginal burial grounds or anything, was it?
No, I don't think so.
Not before they built it.
I mean, really everything we've built in this country is on Aboriginal grounds of some sort.
Right.
But their later careers, Mike and his wife Margie ran a video store in Newcastle.
That's like just going from one bad business to another.
Yeah, because that's doomed now too.
I bet it was Betamax.
But to rub it in, they also worked for the new owner of their property.
Oh.
But then he sold all of his shit up and moved to far north Queensland to try and film a documentary, and that failed. And then in 2009, he died from Parkinson's disease. He was 60.
Oh, shit.
That guy's had a rough trot.
Okay, and his brother Mal, in even more tragedy, opened a photo processing lab.
What?
Far out, dude.
They really had no luck, did they?
I was going to start digging with a massive shovel. No, I don't know.
Yeah, it does sound like they've been cursed.
Yeah, they were a bit cursed.
Someone's probably pointed the bone at them.
They may have had the bone. My old man might have pointed the bone. If only he was Koori, but he's not really. He's an Irish immigrant. The brother Mal in 2000 produced a television show called Leyland Australia, which I remember, and it was terrible. And I think it was the inspiration for Russell Coight.
At least something good's come of it then.
Yeah, but there was only 6 episodes made. Poor old Mike Leyland, he's fucking, yeah, it's tragic really, because they were in everybody's, for 8 years they were in everybody's, but they were really hairy and not, no. It's like, in real life, the whole thing of swinging sounds fantastic, but in real life I've met a few swingers, and you wouldn't go near them with your enemy's cock.
Yeah.
Like, just fucking nasty shit, man. Nasty shit.
That's what the masks are for, right?
Oh, here's an interesting...
Super drunk as well, the swingers.
Do they?
Maybe.
Yeah, right.
Maybe.
It's like, sort of, goes with all the hedonism style of it all. We'll have to ask Jason.
Oof.
Yeah, that's Jason.
Oh, Jason tells stories about being at key parties.
I know.
Talking about
Where is he?
the nature and wildlife documentary making, I did think that the next fishing trip it would be good to bring a GoPro camera so we could get footage of the fish as it was being netted up and reeled in.
Yeah.
Your GoPro's still not functioning, is it, Andy?
It's a fucking turd. Wouldn't recommend the GoPro.
Well, apparently it's a common problem. I might do a quick...
I know.
Canon, dude.
I Googled and Googled and Googled. Unfortunately, there's no common solution.
Yeah, right, except send it back. Unbrick. Oh, here's a video on YouTube, how to unbrick your Hero 2.
I'm surprised the dude could get the video working to take it. The video of it.
He's videoing with something else.
With some old 80s video camera.
Yeah, so apparently you unbrick and downgrade your firmware.
Ah.
And it happens after a firmware update fails.
Ah.
So maybe I've just done a search there in Google for GoPro Brick.
That's pretty good.
So maybe you...
I like the idea of downgrade.
Yeah.
It did work for like
Yeah, right. The first 4 minutes, so there's the first video that comes up is 9 minutes, and it says the first 4 minutes and 28 seconds demonstrates the brick problem and how it occurs. You can then skip to 4 minutes 28 to see how to fix it.
Please explain this brick problem. I've never heard of it.
Oh, it's like when you have an electronic device like a phone or this video camera and it just stops working, so...
To the point where you can't even turn it on.
Yeah. And
it
so
just turns into a brick.
Ah, hence the name, okay.
Yeah. And that's probably from when mobile phones are about that size and shape.
Gotcha.
And it is a really common problem with the GoPros. The thing I don't get is the dudes who have them love them.
Well, I'd love it if it worked. I really would.
Well, try that video and see how you go, because it'd be really good to bring along.
Yeah, and it would save me buying some new thing.
True, you could instead buy the long stick that you put them on and stuff.
I've sort of made one.
Ah, right.
You know what you could do? You could buy one of those helmets.
Yeah,
where you could attach it to.
I've got helmets. I've got a freaking kite mount.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, that's another reason.
Yeah, that's
but
what I was thinking.
If this saves me, then I'll be very happy.
Because I have seen them duty-free coming through airports a few times since I tried to unbrick yours, Andy, and every time I go, oh, I'd like one of those. Oh, damn it, they're bricks.
Yeah.
So if you can unbrick yours, then that'd give me inspiration to buy my own.
I like the look of the Sony one.
Of the one?
There's a Sony one. Although I'm not big on Sony, but it looks good. Yeah.
And because the other thing with the GoPro is as well, Mike, is it has no doors or openings, or it's like solid firmware, so it literally is a brick, you know. There's, like with a video cassette, you can pop open the side of it and poke things and bash it and stuff.
Right.
Where when it's all firmware, there's none of that. Yeah, so it looks like it might be able to unbrick it, because I was thinking that that'd make some really good footage, man.
Yeah, that would be very cool.
See the trevally swimming up to the net and stuff, getting dragged into it.
And you can just poke it in under the water on a stick and look around.
I was told today that stick is called a point of view adapter, and I have a totally different thought about point of views.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my stick's just not a fancy stick. Like, I think they sell an official stick, which is like a clear stick. But my stick is more
right.
stick. But mine is extendable stick. The telescope
is it?
Stick. Yeah. It's like one of those hiking poles, so lightweight aluminium and telescope.
Mintinbox.co.
Yep.
Twitter at mint_in_box. Email mintinboxpodcast@gmail.com.
There's some dudes, some uni students who had like an MRI of themselves done boning in the name of science.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, you mean a penis was in a vagina?
Yes.
And then MRI'd?
Or
Correct.
a penis was in a mouth or a bum.
No, it was in a vagina. So there's like a boy and a girl.
So he had to keep that thing up for 20 minutes without any movement.
I don't know any details. I just sort of saw the scan.
Fucking hero.
I know.
That is extraordinary.
Yeah. But it's like actually pioneering science, like as much as it's funny.
And where was this MRI done?
It was at a university.
Japan?
Oh, America, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Like it wasn't some
Uganda?
It wasn't some fetish country.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
You'd get different results. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting to.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They should have hired Lexington Steel or someone like that.
The one I saw was just like stills. It wasn't like an action thing.
Skipping through to about 2 minutes of the video, 1 minute 18, and there is a video of the sex.
MRI video or just...
Yeah, MRI video.
Oh, wow.
I'll put a link to that. Wow, he's really bashing her.
Wow.
He's coming right out too. That's a bizarre video. That's a bizarre thing to see.
Yeah. And
There's no room in that thing. I could hardly move my arms. Were these two midgets or something? Because honestly, there was not enough room to do any of that sort of shit.
Maybe they were emos. A wife and an emo.
Oh, like real skinny types.
Yeah.
Like those Twilight kids.
Yeah, wearing jeggings and high tide pants.
Jeggings?
Yeah.
What are these jeggings?
Yeah.
They're a cross between
Awesome.
jeans and leggings. Have you really not heard of them?
You've seen them, dude. You've seen them.
Yeah, you've probably seen them.
Yeah, for sure. They're like a denim-looking leggings with the
Yeah.
big stitch. Yeah, right.
And there's actually like pockets printed onto them and stuff.
Only
That's
certain types of chicks can pull that look off. Honestly.
yeah.
Otherwise, you add Ugg boots to that and you just get bogan.
Add Ugg boots to anything, dude.
Yeah, that's they're pretty crap. Well,
I sort of like them.
Yeah, I got no problem with them.
no, that's true. Fair call. Fair call.
It's just kind of funny that there's a word for them and that they exist. at
Yeah.
all.